Hey guys, how's it going out there? And welcome to an absolute disaster. I do this every single day and I try my best, as every YouTuber would do, but I think this one's going to fall apart. What I've been doing recently, I never used to do this, but because of lockdowns and all that kind of stuff, is shooting my videos late at night after I've put my little girl down for bedtime, and she's just not going down tonight. And I'm just sure that there's going to be a cry from next door and I'm going to have to cut into the middle of this video. What I usually do is I don't cut that stuff out and I'll just speed through, like 2 seconds going through the actual, what was 2 minutes in real life. So fingers crossed that won't happen. I'm guessing it will. But I'm going to do my best to get through this video as quickly as possible and talk about this sneaker, or these sneakers I should say, without my little girl waking up in the middle of the night. So cross your fingers with me, guys. This is going to work. So let's do it. Without further ado, let's get into another Adidas Superstar, because this is the 50th anniversary year of this monsterly iconic silhouette. And it's another one of the interesting takes on the shoes. So today what we're looking at is the 4 different colorways on the upcoming release of the Adidas Superstar Jelly. This is the Tokyo About 23 Sneaker Channel. Tokyo About 23 Sneaker Channel des. Mainichi Absuruno de Mainichi Mite Kudasai. And every single day from Tokyo, Japan, I bring content about upcoming sneaker releases, sneaker news and sneaker reviews. And I'm literally sweating. I know you don't need to hear that. But I was like rocking my little girl for ages, trying to get her down. Well, I get this video done so I can, edit it and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like all over the place, right up here, all over the place. But you know what? That's real life. And that's what it's like having a channel. So I'll just do what I can do to make sure that I pull this out and come all the way through and give you guys a good video and talk about these 4 awesome colorways. They're super, super unique. And there's a few things about Superstars that I want to look at in terms of this shoe. Number 1 is these guys right here, the Pradas. I did a video, I think I did it in Japanese, but I can't remember, a long time ago. I mean, we're talking back in maybe February, or maybe even longer ago than that. I'd have to actually check to see when I posted that video. But then I saw recently that they're finally going to drop. As far as I know, they haven't dropped. And there are, what you're looking at right now is 2 of the colorways, I think I'm right in saying, in black and white. But there's also a silver version. Honestly, it's been that long since I made that video. And that's one of the biggest, I think, collaborations of the year for this 50th anniversary year of the Superstars. So that's a huge shoe that's not too far away. A shoe that has dropped recently, and it's really important that we look at it because of what we're looking at today. So today's video is about the jellies, okay? The Adidas Superstar Jelly, and there's 4 different colorways for that. But let's bang this up right here. Doing, there's 2 pictures, or 1 picture with 2 sneakers in it, of what is the Adidas Superstar Gel Toe. Slightly different from Jelly, obviously, but there's a very big commonality in 2 ways between these 2 guys here and what we're going to be looking at today. Number 1 is obviously, if you look at that toe box and that midsole on there, you can see it's exactly that same translucent material that we'll be looking at today. I'm sure you already know about the shoe a little bit, and I'll be getting into the details of that in a minute, especially in terms of what you can and you can't see, or what you do and you don't see. But we'll get to that in a minute, because what I want to also talk about is those the color of that toe box and that midsole on there, because one of them's in that really popping sort of purple and the other one in a more sort of subtle, almost orange. And those 2 colorways I think are coming through today on today's video as well. So it's interesting to see that kind of line being drawn between previous Superstars and these guys that are coming up real soon. I think in about a week's time. Now this video is going to go up on Saturday, which is the 20th, and I think these guys drop sometime like 27th of June. So they're not too far away. Now I'm going to give it to you straight, as I usually do at the channel, and I'm going to throw up a Jordan sneaker, which maybe the Adidas heads out there won't appreciate, but it's just the way it is. Now the thing I want to talk about before I throw up this Jordan sneaker is I like it when a single color sneaker has character. And what I'm talking about is that these sneakers, all of them are absolutely 1 color, but they still have character. There's still enough on them that there's contrast between the different parts, so it has a bit of character. And what I'm talking about is this right here. Bang! That's a Flyknit Jordan 4 from 2019. It's one of my least favorite shoes of all time. There really isn't anything on there that I liked, and I might even have not bothered making a video about what is my all-time all-time favourite silhouette, the Jordan 4s, because I hated the shoes so much. But then if we fast forward to a shoe that's coming out real soon, another Jordan 4 right here, and that's the off-white Jordan 4 Sail. All sail, almost complete. There's just a bit of white back there around the air unit, but everything else is basically a sail sneaker. But it still has character in between those different parts of the sneaker, unlike those fly knit 4s that I was talking about before. And that's one of my favourite things about these superstars, is that even though all 4 of the sneakers are a solid single colour, what we're actually looking at is a bit of contrast between the shoes. So we've got solar pink, we've got purple tint, pink tint, and one more that I can't remember. But what I'll do is I'll put up the 4 different shoes one after the other. It was my iPad. One after the other, and you'll be able to see the 4 different colorways, you know, as they come up one after the other on the green screen behind me here. And hopefully what you'll be able to see is what I'm talking about. They're a solid color, but they do, well, it's not a solid color because there's a lot of translucent going on there, but I mean a single color. But they do still manage to maintain a bit of character between the different parts of the sneaker. And like I said, what I wanted to do with these shoes, I want to take a look at it in terms of what you can and you can't see, or what you do and you don't see. Because for me, because of the way these guys are colored, it actually made me look at parts of the sneaker that I wouldn't normally have looked at, because they would have been lost in that kind of multitude of colors, black, white, predominantly on a superstar, maybe some red in there as well. But because of the way these are colored, it really made me focus on some things like this. For example, if you look at the toe box on these guys, just below the front part of the toe box is that strip that runs across the front of the shoe, and I'd never really paid attention to it before. And it's kind of interesting that on this single color shoe, where it shouldn't stick out, that's where my eyes were drawn, is to that thin strip. It's almost like a rectangle wrapping around the front part where the toe roll kind of comes up onto the toe box. And I've never really looked at it before on superstars, and I'm like, oh, you know, that's kind of interesting. And then also up on the lace system, you have a look at the eyelets up there. The top one in particular, again, it's supposed to be in the same color as the actual upper colorway, but for some reason it pops off of there, and you can really see it instead of it being lost within the same colors of the actual shoe. And it's like, oh, look at that. The eyelet at the top is one way, and then the rest are a different material. They don't have that metal kind of support around them. And again, I mean, it makes sense to have that metal support when you're pulling on them to tighten your laces. That's where the stress is. But I'd never really thought about it before. And again, having a close-up look at whatever color, I don't know which color I'll have a look at on these guys, to show you that real strong eyelet right at the top of the lacing system. And then another place that's equally similar is if you go down onto the midfoot, towards the bottom of the midfoot, you've got those 2 ventilation holes on there, and again they pop off the sneaker because they're the same color as the upper, and that doesn't make sense at all. They shouldn't pop off, they should be lost within the upper. There's a couple of other things as well that really pop off, and maybe because of the materials used as opposed to the colors. If we go to the midsole, you can see that vertical construction of the midsole all the way through there, which you wouldn't normally see on a solid midsole, but because of that translucence, you get a look through onto the inside and get a look at that. And then I'm going to go to one place where it's semi-visible, and it's up onto the tongues, and we'll have a look at the branding on the tongues there, and you can see there's a bit of contrast in there, even though it is, again, that one single color colorway. But there's a bit of contrast in there, but not so much as those other places like the eyelets or the ventilation holes or that strap around the toe roll on the front of these guys. So now we're starting to fade into the things that are lost on the shoe because of that single colour motif. And up there on those tongues is one part of that. And another part of that is that superstar branding down beside the 3-stripe branding on the lateral side. And you can see usually that would pop off as, say, black writing on white or gold writing on black or something like that. But in the case of these, it's kind of lost. And I think it's actually a bit of a loss. I think they could have done something a little bit with the colour on there to give it a little bit more contrast. And then equally those 3-stripe branding down the side there, right beside that superstar branding, is a little bit too similar in colour. I don't know what they could have done, maybe changed the tint or done something with the materials, so you've got 2 different materials and it gives it a bit more definition, like those Jordan 4 off-white sails I was talking about earlier, and that might have given it a bit of pop. But maybe that's not what they wanted. Maybe what they wanted was that total look, and it's actually the eyelet eyelet and the midsole and the ventilation holes and the toe roll that they don't like because they do stand out. Maybe what they were actually going for was more of a solid look to the shoe. Either way, it's another one of those great shoes that's come along for the 50th anniversary of the Superstars. I'm actually going to put my hand up and say I actually prefer these guys. Bang, back to those gel toe guys. I think the contrast of the black and white in the upper with that gel-like stuff that's going on the toe and the midsole and the outsole, I like that, but these guys don't have that kind of black and white classicness about them. It's missing, but still, it's a really cool sneaker, an interesting way to look at it, an interesting thing to do for the 50th anniversary of the Adidas Superstars. And what is an interesting thing to do is for me to wrap this video up, because I haven't been interrupted, and fingers crossed these last few seconds I won't get a little girl running in here going daddy daddy daddy. So thank you for bearing with me as I went through what was a difficult video for me to make, but I'm glad I've done it. It worked out pretty well, and I'll do just what I do at the end of every single one of my videos, which is thank you guys for checking out the content. I do truly appreciate it, and as I do this every single day, that means that you are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.